So welcome to another episode of Sit Downs with the Stand-Ups, and I have someone that I truly appreciate, love, respect, someone that I've seen evolve from a young lady into a grown adult woman who's always been a stand-up individual, always spoke her mind, one of the dopest lyricists in the game, and she from the BX. You know what I'm saying? And I told you I don't interview everybody because I don't believe everybody deserves to get interviewed. You know, I see a lot of these podcasts, no shade to nobody, but a lot of these people don't even. I mean, I don't really want to because they gonna say.
I said it. I just don't stop me.
I'm not gonna stop.
A lot of y'all be just letting anybody sit in front of a microphone and just be talking. They be chatting, and y'all just be entertaining the chatting. So that makes them a clown and you're a clown.
Okay, Remy said that, and so I even got to tell you who it is. We know, with no further ado, is my sis,
yes.
Remy Ma.
How are you today?
How you feeling today, Queen?
I feel good. I'm gonna be totally honest. You told me what you want to talk about today, and I made a decision. I don't even know, probably a couple years ago, that I'm like, I don't even want to talk about me being in prison or anything like that ever again, because I felt like people were like dragging it. It was starting to become like an ongoing thing to where it's a point in my life that I wanted to forget about. And not necessarily forget about as far as, because it's always going to be with me and a part of me. But I just wanted to move on from that. But I love you. And we have a relationship that goes before both of us ever went away.
That's right.
And so when you called, it wasn't even a question whether I was going to do it or not. So I'm here, whatever you want to talk about. There's no questions that are off limits. Let's get into it.
That's the love.
To, inform the people.
Well, I appreciate that. And yes, we're going to talk about prison because, I think what I wanted to do with this podcast, right, is a lot of us who've been incarcerated, who made mistakes, some of us been there wrongly, whatever it is, and we did our time. We stood up. We took the consequences for those actions, or even actions that we didn't do. But there's a lot of people, we sat inside prison, and we utilized that time, and we came out here to be productive, right. And a lot of times that is not shown. It's people want to harp on the negativity. People want to glorify the negative part, and that's not what this is about.
This also want to hold you accountable to whatever your crime was or wasn't, or whatever your sentence was, or just you being an ex-felon, period. People, there's so many things that as productive and as successful as I've been able to be since my incarceration, there's a lot of doors that I still really can't get in because of that. And they won't say it.
Mm-hmm.
They don't say it. But it'll be things like they want to book Joe for, and Joe be like, yo, my sister. And it'll be like, well, we just want you for this right now. And I know what it is. But they can't say that because then they're going to look crazy because what would be the reason? It's been times that I try to get a loan. I was buying my house one time, one of my houses, and I was trying to get a loan.
One of my houses. You see, that's
no, seriously. I never got a loan before. Every house that I've ever bought, my house, my mom's house, I've always just bought it. So I never got a loan before. And that is actually in itself a result of what happened to me when I went to prison. When I went to prison, I didn't own my house. I was like doing something like rent to own or something like that. Something that somebody convinced me to do. And like, it doesn't make sense to just pay for it now. And a lot of things that I had, it wasn't really mine. And because of the lifestyle that I lived, there really wasn't anybody that could keep up their life and my lifestyle in my absence. So now when I came home, I was like, I'm never doing that again. If I have the money to buy something, I'm just buying it. And if I decide to sell it one day, then I'm going to sell it. And then that's just going to be that. But if anything ever happens, it's mine. Can't nobody come take it, whatever. So whenever I would get a house, I'm just buying it. So this one particular time, because I had other properties, I was like, you know what? I'm going to get a loan on this one for like half of it. I'm going to still pay half. I'm going to get a loan for the other half, and I'm going to use the rest of the money that I would have paid for the house to do what I want to do to it. And they sent me through so many, like I sent every pay stub, every bank statement, like everything that you could do. My credit score was what it was supposed to. I owed nobody no money. And eventually I was like, I want a letter telling me like why y'all denied me, because eventually they denied me. And the first reason on the denial letter was my criminal history.
Wow.
And I'm like, I would understand if like maybe I had a money crime or a fraud dealing with some type of insurance or something that would apply to a home. It made absolutely no sense to me. why this was happening. It was like, we're sorry, whatever. And I was just so pissed off. I was like, you know what? Fine, I'm gonna just buy it. And I bought it in cash. So it really didn't, like, they thought they were stopping something, but for the average person, they would have just literally been stuck renting because they couldn't get a loan. And these are things that people don't talk about. So when I look at the things that's wrong with the rehabilitation that they love saying, and correctional, they don't really rehabilitate anything.
That's a fact.
They don't correct anything. They definitely don't prepare you for what we're going to step into. They rip you literally out of your world right now. You don't get to go home. You don't get to pass goals. You don't get to collect 200 and put you in this chaotic ass place where you're surrounded by every type of walk of life. And don't get me wrong, I met some of my best friends that I have. That's now. What I was about to say. That I met while I was incarcerated. Those are my friends. Those are the people that come to my baby shower, my wedding, and my house. The people that I knew prior to that, I really don't even deal with them like that. You really, you find out who your friends are. You really do find out who's there for you and who's not. And when I came home, there was nothing. They just decided, okay, today's the day we're gonna just throw you back in. I didn't know what Twitter was. I didn't know what Instagram was. I didn't know. I never even had an iPhone. When I left, my phone still had buttons on it. So, like, got my big, stupid fingers, and I'm like, yeah, I just want a phone with buttons. It was things like that. I walked around for months with a jail ID because I didn't have enough points and enough of my stuff. All my stuff was everywhere in disarray. I had to find out where everything was so I could go get a driver's license. It had been so long since I had a driver's license that I had to take a test again. I got, like, this freaking 19-year-old kid being the person that's telling me what I'm supposed to be doing. She's like, oh, you just made it. I'm like, what do you mean I just made it? Like, I've been driving since I was 16. She's like, oh, you didn't look back when we were parking. I'm like, but I got a camera. Like,
exactly. Why did I look back on the camera?
I have a whole, it's still procedure. I was like, miss, if you don't give me my driver's license right now, call your mom. Like, it was so much that people just don't talk about at all. Like, trying to reconnect with my son, who was 7 years old when I went away and was about to be 14 when I came home, who was a total different person. And I'm a total different person. Like, we have a different relationship. He was a kid in the first grade who I never really yelled at him, never really had to tell him anything. Now he's a teenager in high school, trying to hang out with certain crews, trying to experiment with weed, and just, so now we have a different dynamic. He's just like, I don't know this lady. I'm like, and I don't know you. But no one prepares you. How do you reintegrate, not just into society, but how do you get the relationship back with your children? How do you even prepare yourself to interact in a society where everything is social media, everything is, technology, and you've been placed somewhere where they're still using cassettes.
Still using cassettes.
Still, wow. In 2023.
That is crazy.
Cassettes. How
I thought they still using cassettes? I gotta ask some questions because I thought, wow, they still using cassettes.
After cassettes was CDs, so they
ain't even evolved to CD. Wow, that is crazy. Because I remember I had every cassette. I had Remy's album on cassette when I was in Sing Sing.
Like, it's crazy.
And the thing is,
that no one talks about. Like,
exactly. And the thing is, they hold you. They judge you completely who you are, off probably the worst 20 or 30 seconds of your life. A mistake that you made, or some bullshit.
Oh, how about that? How about it's not even the mistake that you made. Whatever the DA or the prosecutor put on your paperwork, because that's not even right and exact. Because I have to tell people all the time, like, yo, everybody that's in prison is not guilty, right? The same way that everybody who you walk past in the street, because they're not in jail, everybody you walk past is not innocent.
That's right.
Like, it's some real crazy people that probably should be locked away that you walk past every day. Everybody, you think y'all out here protesting for the police and the wrongdoing. You think every time them and the DA and the prosecutor and the judge got it right every single time?
Never.
Like, are you kidding me?
Never.
You don't even like how they operate to get you there.
Never.
So, like, what are you talking about? And then after you do that, their goal, I swear, it annoys me so much because I be trying to, like, you think people would just think logically. This is
There's
why
no logic no more. People don't got common sense.
Don't ever do a trial by jury. The average person is dumb. You'd be better off chancing it with a judge because they have to at least play by the rules that they set up.
This is free game, y'all.
But it's so crazy because I'm like, dude, the whole thing with a prosecutor, with a DA, with the whole judicial system, when they're telling their accolades and they want to stick their chest out,
you
what they say,
accolades.
what they say, what is their conviction rate?
Yeah.
So that tells you their goal is to convict.
That's it.
They're not here to prove you're innocent. They don't care
at all.
Very, very rarely do they be like, damn, there's no way we could jam this person up. We tried to give them a plea deal. They not taking it. Once the evidence come out, we really might not win this one. All right, cool. That's very rare. Most of the time, they'll just give you 20 charges that has nothing to do with whatever happened.
Hope one stick.
And hope one sticks. So this way, that their conviction rate can keep running. So how are we really sitting here expecting some type of justice whose person, their whole goal is to increase their conviction rate? They want a high percentage of convictions. Like, that it just doesn't make sense. But people don't look at it like that. I was looking at something yesterday on one of these blog sites. They had posted a girl. She's in school, and she's arguing with a teacher. The teacher's there, and she's in the teacher's face, and she's like, "You're not gonna talk to me like that. You're not gonna talk to me." And the teacher like has her phone, and the girl, she's in her face, and the teacher does something like this, like, "Yo, get out my face." But she pushed her. Mm-hmm. No one saw that. No one even saw the fact that this is supposed to be a teacher. Even once you seen her get up, you should have removed yourself, sit down. All right, let me call somebody. Push them. Girl's like, "Oh, don't push me." Whatever. It just keeps going. It escalates more and more. The girl's like, she grabs the girl. She's like, "Yo, get your hands off me. I'm telling you, I'm going to start swinging." She tells her, "I'm going to start swinging. Get off of me." She holds on her. Girl starts swinging. The teacher throws her on the floor. The girl's fighting, whatever. They pull her apart. The caption says, though, teacher's unable to walk. She broke her leg after the girl threw her to the floor.
Hospital with a neck brace. I seen it.
I watched the video. I see who threw who to the floor, who's supposed to be the adult. Whatever was shown in the video, we don't know what happened that led up to that. What pissed me off the most out of everything, if you go through the comments, so many adults that was like, "Yeah, send her ass to jail. She needs to go to jail." And I'm just like, crazy. So nobody's going to say call her parents?
No, because we've turned into a police society.
Nah.
We think the answer to everything is incarceration, is police, is lock them up,
until
get rid of them.
Until we see a wrongful death. That's what I'm saying. They was like,
until it's you.
Reform.
You understand what I'm saying? It's all these people that's holier than thou. They want everybody to go to jail until there's a situation that happens to them, and then they were like, "No, like I shouldn't be in jail, or not my child, or not my family." You understand what I'm saying? And that's one of the things that people don't understand. Anybody can end up in prison. You know what I'm saying? Anybody, any situation, you can wind up in prison. A lot of people judge and they look at you and they be like, "Oh," I listen to comments all day when people be like, "Well, they need to go to jail." When we was fighting for MDC,
not even knowing what it entails.
Not even knowing what it entails. We was fighting for MDC for people to have lights and heat because it was freezing and they didn't have no food. And they was like, "Well, they shouldn't be in jail." So you telling me because somebody's locked up, that they should freeze to death, they should starve, they should be beaten. And this is the mind state. And that's what it is for me, showing people that we are human beings. And a lot of us evolve and come out. There's so many successful people that I'm going to have on this show who've been incarcerated, who've done some of the most, successful shit, some of the greatest shit that a lot of times you don't really even realize that they've been incarcerated because they just show the accolades and they put the rest to the side. But it's a lot of us.
That was one of my things because I'm like, I keep having to talk about that. And I get upset about it. Like, when I see that, I'm sitting here like, yo, if I see one more person, I say, like, I literally wrote, my comment response was so crazy that I was like, all right, now I'm not posting this because I'm going to be on here for the next 2 hours cursing people out.
I'm telling you.
I didn't see not one person like, yo, call her parents. Not one person like, yo, the teacher's supposed to be the adult. When do you de-escalate it?
And that's the same thing with the police. Who has the onus? Who has the responsibility? If you're a trained individual, we paying you. Mm-hmm. You're paying, you go to training, you go through all of these things to deal with these. If you don't have the ability, everybody ain't built to do it. Right? So that's why everybody doesn't sign up for the job.
I know
because it ain't for you. You understand? But you get it. That's why you ain't gonna do it because ain't nobody gonna get in your face. But you,
but
you
that's
understand
a lot of the issues with in law enforcement and even in the correctional system. A lot of people, if you ask them, they don't have that job because that's their dream job and that's what they want to do. Very rarely you might meet somebody. I know one person. I promise you, they was like they wanted to be a cop since they was young. Mm-hmm. Coolest kid in the world. And he says why he wanted to be all these things. Most people, they find themselves needing a job. They're out of school, out of college, and they just need to make ends meet. And now they're taking this job on that they don't really want. They don't really understand the responsibility of it, and they're frustrated. So they take, you know how many times I would be inside and I'd be arguing with people like, yo, you don't want to be here. Like, I don't want to be here neither.
Exactly.
Like, you mad.
But they
like,
locked up too. You know that they doing a bid. Because they call their time, they schedule a bid. What's your bid? What bid you got? Yeah, they actually doing the same bid you are. They don't have a phone. They can't be in the outside world. They in there with us. But at the same time, you chose to be here. Not me.
Like, and my punishment for whatever I did or didn't do was to be here, not to be here and have you come in here and take out your outside shit on me whenever you feel like it. Like, there was people that just literally come in with a chip on their shoulder and just be an asshole to everybody all day for no reason. Well, it was a reason, but nothing that had to do with us. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times those was the ones that they was either very abusive to inmates or they was the ones that something got done to them. Because y'all don't know what somebody's going through. Like, I never look at anybody, and a lot of it, yes, it has to do because I've been there before. Before I went to prison, I knew mad people that went to jail. And I thought I knew what it was and what it entailed. It's not the same as not being there. Like, I have arguments with people all the time, like, nah, I'm telling you, my man was in there, and
but you wasn't in there,
or
bro.
my boyfriend was there. Like, it wasn't
but you. Wasn't
you.
There. Exactly.
It's not. I don't care how many visits you went on. I don't care how many phone calls you answered. I don't care how much package you sent, how much mail, how much comments. I mean, you weren't the one in there. This is a system that is designed within, what is it? What is the statistics? Like 90 days or something like that to like have you go crazy?
Yeah, that's what I tell like, people anytime. So being in the box, like I said all the time, when you go to the box, I think you lose some level of mentality. Like, you lose mental health. If you're in the box for over 40 days, to me, there's some level of something that you lose. I have weight. Like, I mean, weight. I mean, I'm just definitely weight. But I'm talking about mentally. Like, you start hearing your thoughts. It sounds like you screaming at yourself. Like, it's so much. Like, I tell people, if you never, like you said, if you never been in prison, I can't explain it to you. It's some shit that you actually got to go through. I hope you never go through.
Right.
So don't get involved in that. You know what I'm saying? That's just something. Just listen to the people who've been through it, and then, learn from that. And then that's what I be trying to do, keep these kids out there. And they think, because when we was young, it's crazy. In the hood, they made you feel like you wasn't real if you didn't go to jail. Like, niggas would glorify the niggas who went to jail. They made it seem like it was some badge of honor. Every time a nigga came home, he was celebrated, he was glorified. And when I went in jail, it was the worst place I ever been
in my life.
And I'm like, what the fuck was niggas happy about being here? Why was niggas making it seem like it was something real about being here?
I don't even think it was that. And I think maybe it's one of those things that over the years it got misconstrued. Like, how they got certain holidays that started out as one thing, and then over years it's like, I think was the celebration is that you came out and survived it.
But the niggas was making it seem like,
I get what you're saying, but I'm thinking that's one of those things that started. It started as, like, if you think about it, let's not talk about how we grew up and we seen people come home from jail. Let's go back 100 years. Imagine what prisons had to be like then. And somebody from our community went through there. When they come home and you came home, you didn't get killed in there, you survived, you still got a piece of the person that you was. That would be something to celebrate.
That's a fact.
You understand what I'm saying?
That makes sense.
I think that's one of those things that over the years that it just got misconstrued. But it's a miracle to come home and be any type of normal. Because it's so easy to be strung out on drugs. It's so easy. They don't even diagnose you. You diagnose yourself. You go to the RMU. You tell them, listen, I'm depressed. I feel like I want to kill myself. Let me get some Seroquel. They're like, okay. Yep. Now you're in the med line.
They give you anything you want.
Now you're in the med line, and now you a zombie every time they call meds all day. And a lot of people did that because it was so unbearable. Because the truth of the matter is, when you go away, people do forget about you. And I don't think I actually being here now and have been there, and I look back at times where I feel like I probably may have not been there as much as I should have been for somebody. Time goes so much faster here.
It does.
It goes so much faster. So you be saying in your head, like, I'm gonna go over there. I'm gonna make sure I get up there. I'm gonna make sure I'm sending the package.
You count every minute. Like every second. You don't miss. You don't miss anything. Mm-hmm. Like, weeks could go by. I'll be like, damn, is that already? You never say that in jail. You never be in jail like, damn.
Like, we're in February.
Friday already?
Right now, we're like, yo, it's February. January went mad quick.
Man, we never say that in jail.
It's everything.
Like, everything is in slow motion. You feel it. You see it. You hear every sound. You remember all the it's just, it's something that you can't. But we're gonna come back to that. I want to start out. I want to just go through because I want to give just a full interview.
Okay.
Right. So I want to describe young Remy, like
me.
Young Remy. Describe young Remy. I never like. I always imagine like little Remy. Just to describe young.
How young are we talking about?
So like from like 10 to like your teenage years, like right before you rap. What was young Remy like before she started rapping? And when did you start rapping? Tell us all of that.
Probably when I was like 11. 12. Prior to that, I want to say from as far as I can remember, like pre-K, I remember going to Head Start. I remember going to kindergarten, first grade, second grade. All of that was like perfect. Like I had my mom, my dad. We lived in a tenement building on Forest Avenue. It was me, my older brother, my younger brother, and like that was my life. Like my dad owned this is when VHS tapes was a thing. He owned his own store called Mr. Movie where people come and rent videos and sit in the back. We so I would spend a lot of time in his store. Like a lot of my friends, their parents didn't have cars. Like we had a car and we had carpet and we had a microwave and like things that people just didn't have. Like I knew that we had things that people didn't have. Like we went to concerts. I remember going to a Prince concert and going to a New Edition concert.
You went to Prince?
I went to a Prince concert.
Oh, that's
First
fire.
concert I ever went to was a Prince concert.
That's fire.
So a Prince concert, we went to New Edition. We would go to like, the Disney on Ice, see Silverhawks, all of these things like I remember vividly, clearly. And then like at some point things changed and drugs got involved and, my mom was going through what she was going through and my dad, they separated. And from there, I want to say probably from like 8 to 12, like those years right there, we were just like in and out of shelters. I remember going to, what did they call it? I don't know what it stood for, but they called it EAU. It was like over by the Grand Concourse, right over the bridge, and that's where you went. I know what you're talking about. And to apply to go to shelter.
Yeah.
And we was going through that with my mom, and that was with that we lived in so many places. I remember I lived in a hotel in Harlem on like 145th Street. We lived in Sheepshead Bay in Brooklyn. They just like would move you around, so I would change schools a lot. And I was just angry. I was just mad because I hated it. Like we had some certain places we had to share a bathroom with another family. It was just disgusting. And then my mom had my little sister. So it's like my brother at the time, like he had moved with a family. My older brother lived with a family member, and it was like me, my little brother, and my mom ended up having like another baby. And I just remember like, hating life. Like I wanted my life back, like the way that it was. And I never ever got that back, by the way. But that pretty much started the animosity. Like why is this like this? Like why? How do you go from every day, breakfast, lunch, dinner, mom, dad, drive to school, pick up, go hang out at the store, come back. My mom worked at the World Trade Center. Like, how do I go from that and now, like, we're in a shelter, like a tier 2 with other families and using the bathroom that's down the hall, and I got to keep switching schools. And I liked school. Like, I was like one of those kids that actually liked school because in case I don't know, I'm really smart.
Me too.
Like, you're right. But I like people tell me something like, yo, you should go back to school. Like you could do it online. I'm like, I would never like doing online school because how's everybody gonna know that I'm the smartest in class if we're online? I don't like that. But I love school, and I used to always have to keep switching schools, and it just put something in me that I was just angry all the time. So by the time I started turning into a teenager, I was like 12 years old, going on 13. My mom had got her own place. She finally got placed. We got placed, and we were in Queens. And that's how I know this area. I was like, where are you at? Just tell me the address. Like, I'll find it. Like, I grew up here in Queens for, like, my whole high school up until I was probably, like, right before I met Pun and Joe. And I moved back to the Bronx and was going to school over there. But I was just angry. And then my mom was like, she was going through her own stuff that she was going through. And I used to be so mad at her. And it took years for me and her to get into a space where I can even like talk to her because I felt like it was her fault.
I get it.
I felt like it was her fault. And I used to cry a lot. I used to fight a lot. And then when I had my son, when I was a teenager, thinking like that would make my relationship with my mom better, it made it worse because I'm like, I knew what I would do and what I would go through for my son. I was like, yo, like why she wasn't doing that? Like I never factored in, the drug addiction and what was going on and how young she really was. Like you think of your parents and they just always seem like they older than you. My mom was like in her 20s. You know what I'm saying? So you think, even I had this conversation with my brother one time because I used to be mad at him. Like, yo, he was my older brother. Like, yo, why you ain't do this? Or why you? He like, yo, I was a kid too. He's like, it seemed like I was older. My brother was like, probably if I was 12, he was like 18, 19. He was a kid. So when you young, the same way when you 20, you be like, they 40, all these 40-year-olds, like they seem so much older than you until, the ages start leveling out when y'all get older. And I was mad at my brother. I was mad at my mom. I was mad at anybody in my family who I felt like, why none of my aunts came? Or why my grandmother didn't do this? And by the time I was a teenager and, like, my mom was away for a little while. We had, like, this whole big thing where my crib got raided and my little sisters went with their dad and my little brother went with his dad. And my brother, he was over 18, so he could went wherever he went. And I didn't want to be relocated to a family member. So I like, ran away. I just left. Like, I'm not going down south. Like, now I'm just taking care of myself. And that may have been the worst decision in my life because it pretty much, I know it changed the trajectory of whatever my life would have been had I went and lived with my dad in Georgia. But, it might have been the best thing because I wouldn't have been here to meet the people that I met and do the things that I did to become who I am today. But I went through a lot. Like, I was at your trial. What was I doing?
That was crazy.
Sitting with the people that I was with at your trial.
That's the thing. So I tell this story often because it's kind of like my little brag thing. So BMO, my man Steve, they bring Remy to the trial. She's a teenager.
I was like 15.
She's like 15 years old. So I'm fighting for my life. I'm sitting in this trial. I'm like, these niggas is really trying to lose me over some shit I ain't even do. And I had just got my deal, whatever. So they like, yo, I need you to hear her. I'm like, what are you talking about here, nigga? I'm
it
like,
is
what the
right
fuck
now.
you talking about here? I'm fighting for my life, and you bringing somebody I need to hear. But when I tell you, we walked outside the courtroom, we on the front of the Supreme Court steps. I never forget it. And she started rapping. I was like, nah, she tough. I said, if I get out of here, then we had to do something with her. And Beam was like, nah, she with me. Don't worry about it. I just want you to hear her, though, Mike. I'm like, Beam, this is family. So he like, we'll talk about it later. But I just never came home. It was like 2 days later.
So crazy.
I blew trial. You know what I'm saying? So that was like the first time. A 15-year-old Remy, she was always dope, man. So when I seen her,
and now if you go to that same exact spot and you look up on the pole, I got my name on the street sign.
You wrote, oh, that's exactly, your name is this.
Exact same spot.
That is crazy.
They gave me a street sign on the Bronx Walk of Fame. So
right there on that. See, look at this.
It's crazy, right?
That is crazy, man. So, wow. See, this is why I celebrate you. You know what I'm saying? Because you see, it's so many small degrees of separation that that greatness has taken a turn. Like our lives have taken turns, and
But do you ever think about that sometimes? Like, let's just say, because at that time, like, I don't know if y'all understand, like, he's deep into what he's doing right now. But at that moment, when I was standing on those courtroom steps rapping to him, like, he was who he was. Like, it was my son, lefty, cut up in a right palm, like that. It was a big thing.
It was a thing.
If you wouldn't have blew trial,
I used to think about it all the time, Rem, and it was something that, like, the first couple of years that shit haunted me. Like, seeing, you gotta think about it. When I first got signed, like, I was the man. So everybody that started coming, watching Beans blow up, right? Watching Bleak and them drop their album, watching 50 come. Then 50 came, and it was like, wow, these is the niggas that was. Mm-hmm. They was behind me literally. Right. Not saying nothing wrong, but
next to me.
You know what I'm saying? These was the niggas that was behind me. I remember I was just having this conversation with Fifth at a Boogie concert, and he was like, and I remember we was at Rucker, and he came to me and was like, yo, they had me as next in the Source magazine. He was like, yo, you remember what you did last month? I'm gonna be there next month. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it was they was behind me. So watching everybody blow and having that conversation, and
so I asked you that because as I went through that. I actually was probably at the almost not the climax, but I was there. Like number one records, like had already cleared all the competition.
Yeah.
And one day is not that.
It's tough.
And I used to be sitting in there, and the Double XLs is coming through, and the Vibes and all these magazines, and I'm just looking like, and for a minute it wasn't nobody. And then you start seeing people coming out, and it's the same thing. All these people was under me.
Mm-hmm.
And you like, damn, like, I wonder what my life would have been like. And it's the same thing for the first couple of years. You'd be like, yo, it's stressful.
It's
like,
stressful.
You don't want to watch videos.
And everybody's coming to you with it.
Yeah.
Because they know they like, you got your friends like, man, fuck her. She ain't nice. She can't fuck with you, Rem. Yo, they trying to copy you. Yo, you supposed to be here, and you like, I don't really want to hear that right now.
Like, because you're upset. Like,
because you're upset.
It was even more so. Like, I will wake up and have people, like, at my cell, like, yo, I go on a drive tomorrow. My sister's a big fan. Can you say, if you know what the fuck with
yes.
right now? Like, right
Cause
now.
Because you don't woke up from a dream that you was home, and then you open your eyes, and you still in the fucking prison, and they knocking on the door talking about it. Yo, it's a new dude in here want to battle you and all. I'm like, bro.
I said that on the record that I did on the Plato Plomo album with me and Joe. It's me and Joe. And
make sure you get close to the rim.
It's me and Joe and Stephanie Mills, and it's called Dreaming. And I used to be like, yo, I used to be in my cell dreaming I was home. Now I'm home. And I be dreaming I be back in the cell. Like, I promise you, I used to be in jail. I have a vivid,
you feel like, I swear to God, it's
dream that
you was like,
home.
Oh shit. And then, I used to have my eyes closed, and I'd be like, God, please, and I open my eyes, me be home. Because it's so real. Don't make this be a lie. And I open my eyes and still be in that cell.
But do you have the dreams that you locked up at home?
I had to. Yeah. I haven't had them lately because but I used to have them all the time. I used to be the scariest shit.
I have them all the time, and they be so real.
It used to be the scariest shit to me.
I be on my greens. I be in a mess hall. Like, it's crazy. Like, the mind is an amazing thing.
But what was the process? Like, how did you overcome that and get to a place while you was incarcerated to just focus on, all right, when I get outside? Like, what was your process?
Honestly,
I
just kept waking up every day. Like people like, yo, you did that. No, I really didn't. I just woke up every day, and eventually it was the day for me to leave. Like, that shit was horrible. Like, every day, you can ask any of my friends. Like, I told you, most of my friends, that's my friends, was locked up with me. They used to be like, yo, she is a blow. Because I used to be like, yo, I got to get out of here. Like, all day. That was my slogan. Like, I got to get the fuck out of here. I cannot take this. Like, because it'll be times, and I never be wanting to say it because I don't want people to get the wrong impression. But there were times that I actually was all right. Like, it's become
and then
your
it
life.
clicks in your mind. You like,
nah, I'm having too much fun.
What
like,
the
nah,
fuck?
hold up. Like,
for real.
It would literally be in the moment. Like, we'll be sitting there, we done have somebody bring us something in, we chilling, drinking, smoking. I'd be like, wait a minute.
I'm in jail.
Nah, this is horrible. This is horrible. Like, I gotta get out of here. They be like,
yo,
you killing the vibe.
Fuck the vibe. We in jail. I need to get the fuck out of here.
That was me. But I honestly, I just woke up every day. And also, I refused to be crazy. Like, granted, I feel like growing up, the way we grow up to where we got to come accustomed to seeing people strung out on drugs, whether it's neighbors, people that we know in the hood, our parents, our relatives, like whatever, used to hearing gunshots, used to being, abused by police, used to being poor, used to being hungry, used to not knowing, like all of those things that we have become accustomed to because it's just part of our life. Like, well, I mean, my parents was on drugs. All of my friends' parents is on drugs. Like, okay, my father sells drugs. All our fathers sell drugs. Like, it becomes something that is just the norm. That's not normal. Mm-hmm. Like, hearing gunshots and not even ducking and just keeping walking like, oh, they shooting over there. That's not normal. Like, that already, I feel like we start out traumatized. Mm-hmm. Being poor, I don't care what nobody says. It's traumatizing. Not knowing where your next meal is going to come from, not knowing where your coat, when it starts snowing, is going to come from, having to cut your pants into shorts because it's hot as outside. All of those things that come with poverty is a mental thing. It fucks with your mental. Being teased, being bullied, all of the things that come with it. Yeah. And then you grow up, you're a little bit older, or you could be like the people on social media and they be like, you do one little thing because you're already angry and hungry. They like, put that little kid in jail. That's right. Like, so you start out going to jail and to institutions from a kid. When it happens to you as an adult, like, you come home and you have PTSD. Like, I still don't sleep through the night. I cannot sleep through the night. Like, they literally, from the rounds that they do every hour, live body counts, we got to move, we got to wake up. Like, I don't sleep through the night. Anything wakes me up. I have real bad insomnia.
I feel you. I used to, listen to me. It took me, I've been home 16 years now. It took me like 10 years to get past that. Literally took me 10 years to get past that level of insomnia. So I definitely identify with that.
Like, you can't sleep. Just even coming home trying to eat regular food. Like, or just being in the sun. Like, I run from the sun.
For me, was one of the big, because you was there when I came home, right? And I remember I used to be around you, and I remember a vivid time when we did the celebrity game. Mm-hmm. Remember that celebrity game that we did? So this was a time before when you and Joe wasn't cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was going through whatever. So I remember we sitting there.
He was always cool. Just was.
I was always cool, but I just wasn't speaking at that time. So. He came there and he was performing, Lean Back. Mm-hmm. And I remember you was sitting next to me. And I was like, Rem, you gotta go perform. He was like, I'm not performing. I'm like, Rem, you gotta go perform. He was like, no. And I was like, Rem. And you looked at me, and cause he didn't expect you to perform it. Cause you wasn't supposed, and you jumped up and killed it, jumped on the bleachers and all that. It was one of the dopest performances because it was impromptu, and you didn't say nothing, but it was this energy, and I was like, we need to see that. You know what I'm saying? So watching y'all, rekindle y'all brotherhood and sisterhood was dope for me. You know what I'm saying? Because both of y'all was people that I respect and love. So seeing y'all rekindle that was dope. But that was such a, I don't even know if you remember that.
I remember. I don't remember the whole thing, but I know we had on the yellow.
We had the yellows, exactly. We were sitting on the bench, and Joe got up and he was doing Lean Back, and then you was like, "I'm not performing." I said,
"Rem shit trying to."
I'm telling you, I never forget it. And she looked.
That's another one of those cases where I never realized, like, how young he was. Think about it, because like Joe got me by like a little bit more than 10 years. So if I'm 19, 20, Joe's like 29, 30, or like fresh out of his 20s. Mm-hmm. He's not who he is now. And you don't realize that because, like I said, when you're 19 and somebody's 29, they seem like ancient to you. Mm-hmm. It doesn't really start leveling out till you're like 35.
And you like,
and they seem like, oh, okay.
I get it now.
Like, yeah, exactly. But also, a lot of that is we all be having our own trauma.
Growing pains. We going through shit.
We done went through. When I came home, I promise you, before I left, one thing that I did consciously do, besides not wanting to lose my mind and be crazy and people like, yo, jail fucked her up, because that happened. Like, there's people that left and came back, and I'm like, oh, nah, she's done. It's over for her. Like, I literally would think, like, of all the bitches that hated my guts, like, this bitch would love for me to come home and be out of my fucking mind. Yeah. Not happening. That, and also, I wanted to be able to, like, one, I had a son who I had to think about. I think a lot of times it'd be so unbearable. People, they don't even think about that. Like, it's that unbearable. But also, I wanted to be able to be like, nah, they didn't win. Because I used to be in there like, yo, this is some bullshit. Like, I never talked about my case. I never got into the details. Like, just mainly at this point, because it's like, I already did the time. Like, people going to still think whatever they think. Whatever I say is not even really going to matter or resonate. And y'all got that. But what I am going to do, I'm going to bust my ass. And I didn't even think it was going to work with music. Like, because let's be honest, like, people, 7 years, people could be going 7 months in this clip for them.
It's a trap. It's a fact.
So I didn't even think it was going to work with music. But I was like, yo, I know I'm not going to be poor.
That's
I
right.
know I'm not going to be stuck there. And they tried everything, because even after I got out, remember, I had 5 years of post-release supervision, and they made sure they held me down to the last day at a curfew. Can't leave before 8 a.m. Got to be in the house by 8 p.m. for the entire time. Can't go anywhere.
They did the same thing to me.
I
couldn't travel for 4 years. They wouldn't let me do nothing.
I remember one time they had called us to perform at All-Star Weekend, at the All-Star Game halftime. And I didn't have enough time to get permission to go. I was like, fuck it, I'm just going. I'm going to go. And I'm like, there's no way. Like, I'm saying, like, if you see me on that, like, they can't hate on that.
Oh, they gonna hate.
What? When I came back, when I tell you, she was calling me like, where did you go? I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, I got all of these calls talking about they didn't see any paperwork where it was approved. So I'm like, so I'm just sitting there thinking of the mind state. Like, so y'all got people that's out here literally catching new cases, doing drugs, selling drugs, not getting a job, not going to their programs, nothing. And y'all see somebody that's 7, almost like they whole bid, never got caught out of pocket on curfew, nothing. Y'all see them performing at halftime at the All-Star Game, and the first thought that comes to your mind is like, I want to know if she had permission to be there. I'm trying to lock her back up.
That's the truth.
Like, that is crazy to me. Like, beyond, like, when I tell you, I went crazy in there. Like, I was like, lock me up. I don't care. Like, because you just get so frustrated with just
you're
like,
trying to build your life back, and you trying to put the pieces, and they trying to put every block in a way to stop you from doing it. And that's what this system is designed to do. And that's why you gotta celebrate the people that overcome it. Because it's a lot that you go through. It's a lot. Like, I remember, like, something so, like, I couldn't drink, but I also couldn't be in a picture with somebody. Like, if somebody was holding a bottle or they was drinking, like, I couldn't. It's like still being in jail. You can't. Like, somebody hold up a gang sign.
I'm not drinking it. Like, what is the?
It is crazy. It's literally open air jail.
Like, where's the album, or where's this? Like, yo, it was so hard to be creative, so hard to travel, so hard to even work with the stipulations that I had on me, and all the while, everything is new to me. I still don't got no ID. I still don't even like know what I'm gonna do. People were, I don't want to say scared, but that's what it seemed like to me. Like, people were scared to work with me. Oh, she just came home from, what was her charges? Is she going to do something to one of us? Like, or we don't want our name attached to that. Like, it was a lot that you have to deal with. Like, trying to just maneuver in a society that you've been out of so long. So you're trying to figure out, okay, how do I move around? But you don't even really know how to move because you ain't been here.
That's right.
It's like you could grow up on a block. Like, I grew up in Castle Hill, but I haven't been there in forever.
You can't just go back there and know how to move. I wouldn't be able to move
around and maneuver right now today the way I did when I met you.
That's
like,
right.
What? I could have took every back block. All right, police is probably going to be circling the block right here. Let's go this way. Go over here. This is where you get the good pizza from. This is like, I don't know nothing that's going on over there. So you come out and you trying to put the pieces together. You ain't really got no bread. Like, I mean, if you lucky if you do. Like, I'm totally honest. Like, my shit was not where it needed to be. Like, I got a few thousand in the bank. And I was like, all right, what we doing? Everybody expect you to, especially when you in this, everybody expect you to come out and just turn back into the person that you was the day you left. And it's not that.
It's not.
It's not that at all. You don't know nothing. Whatever you had going on.
It ain't there.
It's not there. Your belongings, you don't know where nothing is. It's everything. It's crazy.
And so in that time, you're building different relationships. And you know what I found out being incarcerated? Some of the smartest, most genuine people that I've ever met were in prison, right? This stigma that everybody's just this criminal, the worst people in the world. Some of the nicest, humblest, most educated people, and some of them are never coming home again.
Yeah.
Like some of my OGs that doing 20 and 40 and 50 years to life for crimes that equated to $10. One of my OGs was locked up for robbing a lady, an old lady in the garment district. They said he robbed her at gunpoint, and all she had in her wallet was $1. They said he took the wallet and all she had was $1, but he still got charged with 20 to life because he was a predicate felon.
Right.
And he was down there doing nothing. And he was one of the smartest people. He was one of the most humblest people. Speak to that. How many relationships have you built with individuals in prison that have lasted, that you can say, like you said, a lot of them, your friends now, are people that you met while you were incarcerated?
Well, first, I already know somebody watching this gonna be like, well, he wasn't that smart because he was robbing people and he was this, like, not like, there are things that happen in people's lives that they really be feeling like they back be up against the wall and they don't have no choice. Like, how I'ma feed my kid? How I'ma this? Like, yeah, it's not the best thing to do, but I can't get a job. I can't do this. Like, it's you never know what somebody's circumstances that pushed them to do whatever they did. And also, that doesn't make you who you are.
And also, a lot of these crimes happen when you're young. Like, a lot of these dudes is doing all these times they were 17 and 16, and when they did.
Even when you're not that young, think about it. When you was 25, you the same person that you were when you 30, when you was 25?
Nope.
Were you the same person that you were when you was 35, when you was 30? Like, you're not supposed to be. So your mentality, your thought process, all of that is different. And I feel the same way. Like, I pick my friends. Like, I get accused all the time, like, oh, I treat my friends better than I treat my family. It's like, because I didn't pick y'all. Like, y'all just came with the package. Like, if I could have picked I'd have picked Beyonce would have been my sister, Oprah would have been my mom, Oprah would have been my dad. Like, I'd have been lit. Like, what are you talking about? I did not pick y'all. I did it. And people feel like just because y'all are related and y'all are born in the same family that they automatically just get carte blanche in your life. They don't have to earn your respect. They don't have to earn your love. They don't have to earn your trust. They just get it. I don't feel
entitlement
like that.
is crazy.
I don't feel like that. Like, I feel the way I feel about my friends because I picked my
friends. And they literally earned it. That's the only way they got in my life, because they did the things that I like. You were in my life, and a lot of shit you did, I never even liked ever.
I don't like you. I never liked you. I don't even think you cute. What are you talking about? Like, I don't even know how I'm related. But I promise you, like, I pick my friends because of the qualities that they have. And like you said, thankfully now, like, most of my friends that was like that I hung out with every day, everybody is home and everybody's off for papers. So it would be crazy because I either have my wedding or I have, like, my baby shower and I have to, like, make sure they not on the cameras or make sure they not in the footage or make sure, like, you know what I'm saying, just so that they could share these moments with me. And a lot of my friends were either incarcerated when they were teenagers and came home, like, when I mean 17, 18, came home when they in their 30s. A lot of them are like, mostly all my friends, we all kind of had the same thought process. Like, none of them is doing bad. They all got their own crib, their own car, like, whatever they business mind. Like, we kind of, I don't want to say we had a pact because we never sat down and was like, this is what we're going to do.
But like, it was like my energy.
We talked about it so much, like, yo, when I get, like, it was the I'm never, ever coming back here type situation. Like, we used to be sitting in there because we all had, like, a lengthy amount of time. Some of them had more time than me and had been there before I got there. And we used to see people leave
and come back
because what they would do is, if you have a drug, like, it's the way the system is set up is so crazy. Like, if you have a drug problem, it's a problem. It's an addiction. They know
they're gonna lock you up.
They're gonna lock you up, but they know we're gonna let you out. And you're gonna come back again, and we're gonna get a whole nother check. We're gonna make some more money, and we're gonna let you out because you're gonna come back. Most people who either have a violent crime and most of them, they're one instance that happened. It was an instance that happened in that one moment. It's probably never gonna happen again.
And they know that.
And
that's why they don't want to let you back. And
that's why you have all the time. That's why we're not giving you that chance. We need you here because you good money. You stable money. That's a guaranteed check. And we used to be sitting there like, yo, I'm never coming back here. Ever. Like, they was tired of me saying I got to get out of here. But when I was like, I'm never coming back, that was echoed across the table. Like, yeah, we're not coming back. And everybody, like I said, like you said, intelligent, smart, that got different ideas, like just know how to treat people, like know how to, some people that don't even know how to be a friend. They've never had a real friend, so they don't know how to be a friend. They don't know how to have a real friend. Their whole mentality is just to be grimy and do foul shit that wouldn't even fit right. Like, it's none of that. And I would have never met them had I not went to prison. And I used to be so mad, I promise you. I used to be sitting there like, yo, God, like, you dead ass? You serious? You really got, like, when my first appeal got denied, my second appeal, yeah, it was so bad. Like, one of my friends, I swear, I know she gonna watch it. She like, this bitch really said that. She used to try to make me go to church every Sunday. I used to be like, I'm not, ask me to go to church again, and I'm not fucking speaking to you. Like, I was mad at God. Like, yo, this is fat. Like, cause you allegedly, you know my heart. Why are you doing this to me?
That's
like, you're killing me. You're killing me. I used to be saying, like, God, you are killing me.
I was like, imagine me. I'm like, God, I'm 10 minutes away from being one of the biggest artists, and you lock me up for some bullshit? Like, take 7 to 14 years away from my life? Like, so, I didn't even get to drop an album, Rem. I didn't drop a single. The only thing I was on was the Rough Riders. I did the Violators complex. I never did a video. I never did a show. I never did nothing. The day before I went to jail, I was supposed to be on the Vibrant Thing remix. I was supposed to go. Chris Lighty told me to go to the studio, do that. I was like, I ain't even make it to the studio. I ain't do nothing. So when all this shit coming out and it's the biggest songs in the world, I'm like, this is unbelievable. So I knew that feeling. So listen, I want to ask you this.
Wait, I want to finish that
thought. Okay, finish your thought.
I was mad at God, right? But in my reasons, I didn't understand why. It probably wasn't till I came home. It was like a regular. It wasn't even. It was one of my friend's birthday. It was my big ass house. We sitting there. I made everybody dinner. We made shit that like we liked while we was locked out. I made this like chicken that I used to make and my macaroni salad. And we all sitting there. We drinking. We smoking. We laughing and shit. And it like dawned on me like, this is why I would have never met them. You needed
these people.
I'd have never met them ever in life. There's no way. Like, one is from Buffalo. One, she's from Mount Vernon, but I would have never probably met her. My other friend, she's from Queens. I think she lives in Texas now. Like, I'd have never met these people. And they're so important to my life right now. So I'm like, maybe, like, and I know that there's certain things that I pour into them that change their life as well. And I'm like, maybe this is why he sent me there.
Listen.
I still be a little bit mad because, like, bro, they was my friends as I got there. Like, I was hanging out with the same people from the day that they took me out of.
For a couple months.
The day that I got out of segregation and I was in General Pop, like, we was cool. Like, I could have really did this in like 2 years, like, and still been. But it probably wouldn't have been the same because we went through so much in that time that I was there. Like, these people that, you know why and I tell people, like, when you're incarcerated, you could still be more incarcerated. Like, I would be keep locked. I'll be in shoe, and they would be risking their little bit of freedom that you have in jail to try to bring me food, to make phone calls on my call list, to make sure Pat knew what was going on. Like, all of these different things that they didn't do that because I was Remy Ma.
They did it because
they did it because, like, that, right.
And I heard an interview when you were saying, like, most of the people in society didn't even know you. Right. Like, when you went to prison, those friends got to see you in the totality. So those, like you said, those are the friends that you chose and that chose you based on the reality. I want to go, right, because this is a feeling that I always had, right? When you got charged, right, and you go into trial, what was that feeling? For me, this shit was the worst. Like, I lost, like, 20 pounds going to trial. Like, I didn't eat. I was going through so much mental stress. They was playing with my case. They dismissed my case one day. Dismissed it. The judge threw it out like, the case is dismissed. I'm in Miami at the Super Bowl. I get a call from my lawyer 2 weeks later, like, oh, it's back on. I'm like, fuck you mean it's back on? Then they just dismiss it? Well, they put in another motion. So I want to know, like, what was your mind?
At first, I was like, this is bullshit. Like, because I know what happened. And then I've never, besides your trial, I don't know anybody that ever went to trial. Most of the time, people cop out. I think when you go to trial is because you think it's really a justice system. And they're going to find out the facts and they're going to find out the truth. And everyone's going to look so crazy. That's not it.
That happened.
It's nothing like you see on TV. Your jury selection is a joke. like just all the I was just literally sitting there like,
oh, these niggas really trying.
But each day to the point that I would go home and I remember sitting there and I was on Pat because what they did was anybody who they thought would be supportive of me or like they put them on their witness list. So you can't sit in the court if you're on the DA's witness list because you can't sit in there.
Yeah,
so
because
I
you
would
can't hear other testimony.
Yeah, I would be in the courtroom
pretty
basically
much
by myself. And I remember one day like I was going home and I was like, I'm going to jail.
I said the same.
I'm going to go to jail. Everybody's going to forget about me because I know that's what happens when people go to jail. People forget about people. Everybody's going to forget about me. And this is crazy.
It's crazy.
Like, I remember the day that shit dawned on me. When I'm in court and the judge keeps saying, well, Miss Ma, that is not my name. Like
Miss Ma.
Yeah. Like,
are you kidding me?
Or when they were, oh, well, what do you have on today? And what are you wearing today? And I'm just like, and the same thing. I was so mad. Like, I remember going to jail mad. And then making me write this letter, apology letter, so that the judge would be. And I'm like, I don't want to write. Like, so when people see me and I'm crying because I'm pissed. Like, I don't cry when I'm sad. If I'm crying, I am on the level 1,000,000. Don't touch me. Don't even walk too close because I'm going to explode. I was so mad because I'm like, I know this is not what I want to say. And this is not what I want to do. And these are the games that you have to play because these people literally have your life in their hands. They can give you any number between 5 and 25 based on a whim. So if you rub them the wrong way, that 5 could turn into an 18.
Fuck your reality, fuck what you feel, all of that.
Yeah. So I remember feeling all of that. But that's one of the things that when I came home, and I was trying to say this earlier, besides not wanting to be out of my mind crazy, I didn't want to come home angry. Because somewhere in that middle, I was that around the don't ask me to go to church a fucking again time. I was angry at everybody. I was like, and this bitch, I done helped this bitch do this and that. I ain't seen her not once. Or this thing. Like I remember
like, yours. You know what's crazy? I remember I used to, I don't know why I was adamant about making sure I sent you a card like every birthday. You know what I'm saying? Because I knew how important that was, being incarcerated. So I did it, and I remember you sent me, I don't know what it was. Either you sent it to somebody, and they took a picture of some shit you wrote on, I don't fuck with this person, boom, boom, I got love for you, Mice, you always held it down, and you start writing names, you like, I ain't fucking with none of these people, don't ask me about none of them. I was like, damn, they done piss Reb the fuck off. You know what I'm saying?
It's so unbelievable. Like, unlike you, I had records. I hear them playing on the radio. Like, there's no way you in a bar and you don't see a bottle of Remy Ma and it doesn't cross your mind. Like, you wasn't driving and my song came like nothing. So I used to be so, and I'm like, one day just I was like, yo, if I go home
with that
this mad, I might come back here.
That's real.
And I had to forgive people. I had to literally be like, all right, I know they're pieces of shit, but it's cool. I don't fuck with them, but I'm not mad at them. I'm never fucking inviting them to my house.
But I'm not mad at them.
I'm not mad.
And when I see them, I'm going to say, what's up? How you doing?
I'm going to say, what's up? Can I get you in? Absolutely not. Sorry. I don't have any tickets. I'm not doing none of that. I'm not doing the fake friend shit. I'm not doing none of that. But I'm not mad at you.
Because it's too much pressure on me to be mad at you.
Nah, it wasn't the pressure on me. I want to do something to you. It's nothing. We are totally different. It's not the pressure.
For me, it's too much pressure on me.
I want to fucking crush you right now. I want to do that too.
But I know that me wanting to crush you, it impacts me. Because if I'm mad at you and I want to crush you, then that's an emotion that I gotta calm down. I gotta figure out. Sign? I'm a Taurus.
See, a couple more weeks you'd have been a Gemini like me.
No.
The difference with me is once I crunch you to a little, I feel better. Like I feel so much better now. I boiled your ass up like a piece of fucking aluminum for you and got you out here. I feel so much better, but I feel like knowing that I can't do that without the repercussions or the consequences. That's the part that bothers me. So I have to physically make myself unmad and tell me, whatever it is you're doing, you know what, you got that. What I'm going to do, though, I'm going to remove you so much. Like, because I realized at some point in my life, I had set myself up into a way that I really don't see people that I don't want to see.
That's a fact.
If I don't want to see you or I don't fuck with you, you're never going to see me. We don't live in the same neighborhood. We don't shop in the same stores. I'm never going to run into you at the supermarket while I'm taking my daughter to school. None of that. I made it possible for certain people to see me and to reach me. I went out of my way to drive to certain places and go to certain things. And even people in this industry, if I don't like you, it's so easy for me to not see you. And 9 times out of 10, if I don't like you, you really don't want to see me either. So we're helping each other.
Exactly.
I'm not going anywhere where I'm going to see you, and you're making sure that you're nowhere where I'm at. You're going to stay the fuck out my way. So when I realized that, I'm like, oh, I'm good. I'm good. You don't have no number to reach me. You can't call me. Everybody know if you give my number to somebody, oh, not only is they clipped, you're clipped. It is done. You did what? You gave who? That's call me on 3-way with somebody if you want to. Call me, pass the phone to somebody, and put somebody on FaceTime.
It's a violation.
Oh, it's so over for you for that. Like, but everybody knows that at this point. Like, they be like, yo, I seen so-and-so. They tried to get me to call you. I was like, yeah, smart. Because you know it's not happening. But I had to do like that for my own sanity. Mm-hmm. And that's how I remain in the space that I'm in. But let's be clear. That shit fucked me up. Like, I still don't sleep. Like, I haven't been home as long as you've been home. I just got off of parole right during COVID, right before COVID.
Wow. That's crazy.
After COVID, after I finally finished my home bid, I was still stuck in the house. I'm like, are you kidding me? A fucking pandemic? I can finally go outside and I can't go outside?
Y'all supposed to cut that.
I was so mad. Like, this is no way. I was like, yo, God is, you funny.
He funny. He said you want to make God laugh. You tell him your plans, man, because he will make you.
Like, I still got to sit down or I'm going to die maybe. All right, cool. You got that.
Yeah, COVID was.
You don't got to tell me, but I've literally just been able to come outside. And it's so crazy because I see so many people that, like you said, they've been in my shoes and they be like, yo, like, how did you bounce back? Or how did you, and I be like, yo, I'm going to be honest, I was lucky. And I'm blessed because the majority of the people that, especially that did as much time as I did, they don't be all right.
They don't.
You never catch up. I'm still playing catch up. So when I be hearing like, oh, this prison reform and this, I be like, yo, you know how many times I be wanting to curse you out? I know, like, oh my God.
It ain't no prison reform.
Like, it's prison
transform. You got to transform the whole system.
The whole thing. Like, I think it's insane how you can be facing 5 to 25. That is a big that is crazy. Fucking range.
That don't even make sense.
That's like telling me, oh, okay, how much is that sandwich? Anywhere between $5 and $25. How much is the burger? Yeah. That's it. It's not like either I'm gonna get one burger for $5 or I'm gonna get five burgers for $25. You can't tell me, today $22. I come back tomorrow, $8.
Yeah, nobody should have that level of discretion on somebody's life.
No, the spaces, and then when you look at it, the people that are in these positions, when they get caught doing something, what they all do? Kill themselves.
Yep.
Oh, why you do that? What happened?
They can't deal with the same. What happened? They can't deal with the same pressure because they put us under.
You know what you was doing to people like oh no,
I ain't going in there with them.
I'm not going in there. Like I think it's insane. I feel like there's so many things that have to be factored in: the person's age, the person's background, their mental health, all of these different things. Like this, sir, I'm not gonna lie. You doing anything with kids, anything like that? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that might be the only thing but everything. There's always something that has to be factored in. You cannot have this just broad spectrum for everybody because literally, me and my 4 friends that we all had like two of us had 8 years, one of us had 15, the other one had 18. But if you look at the cases and how did they come up with these numbers? No priors. Or like it's just like they just really freestyling.
That's what they did.
They literally sit in that courtroom and be freestyling.
And
how?
because they want to break us, Rim. And unfortunately for them, and fortunately for us, they didn't. And you out here looking amazing. You've evolved. You've grown. You are just like you're a role model to me.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? You know why? Because watching you listen.
Role model after
Remy
me.
is a role model. Because let me tell you why.
I'm not taking
because
it.
she's what authenticity looks like, right? And you constantly evolve. And now she has a daughter. She's a wife, and she's constantly growing. She's, still doing music at a high level. I watched her at Little Kim's concert the other day, and I was like, look at my sister, killing it. She bodied the performance, came out there, bodied the performance, and just, and it's like you just getting better. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of, like, watching you and Joe, like, evolution, like, as you get older, you getting better. You seasoned, you moving around, you in different spaces, you able to coexist. Like, it used to be just the hard Remy. Right. It was Remy, but Remy knows how to still be hard when she got to, but for the most part, Remy can blend in with anything. I'm watching Remy on TV. I'm watching Remy do podcasts. Like, I'm just seeing her do a talk show. Like, I'm watching Rem. Like, I'm seeing an evolution, and this is what I want to celebrate. This is a woman who went to jail, did her time. They thought they broke her, and she came home, and she's constantly evolving. She's successful. She got houses. She got shows. She got a beautiful family, black love. Like, she's the picture of black love. Like, her relationship and her marriage is goals. You know what I'm saying? Her daughter is fly. She is the golden child. You know what I'm saying? She ain't want to give me a pound. I gotta look, she was white, but she was fly. She had a dope little outfit on. So, you know what I'm saying? Just watching you just continuing to grow. Chrome 23, I gotta come to one of the Chrome.
It's huge. I have it's for women, but I've recently started incorporating males into it just because of the pay gap and the audience and what they want to see. Like, I realize that I can't just do strictly women the way I want to this second. So
you just got to blend it in.
No, so what I do is I just do a big male headline and then I put all the fire girls. Like,
that's how you do it. I mean, listen, you figured out. It's all about marketing.
Yeah.
And strategic. But
it's cool. It's dope. Come out. We at Sony Hall on 46th Street in the city. It's going to be an amazing thing. You're going to be good. But I just want to say real quick to anybody that may be watching this, that may be tuned in, that two sides. If you have anybody that you love, that you care about, that loves you or care about you, and they are incarcerated, reach out to them. It's annoying. They're gonna treat you like you're a prisoner. They do it on purpose to make you not want to come back. Go visit them. Put a few dollars on your JPay. Put a few dollars on the things are so much cheaper in prison. $150, $200 will probably last them too much. You can only spend $50 at a time at commissary the most. Like, they can't get packages no more. They gotta order everything. Like, the littlest thing helps. Like, the way I saw people who the authorities thought didn't have anybody treated, they get treated so much worse. Like, they used to do foul shit to me, but they knew this, like, we can't really go too crazy
far, exactly,
because it's gonna get crazy. But the people who they felt had nobody, they got it the worst.
That's a fact.
The people who didn't really have money like that, you're making 11 cents an hour, they had it the worst. Imagine going to bed hungry night after night for years to the point that your body is accustomed to eating small portions of food. I just saying, like, just check on your people. That's all. Check on them. It don't have to be every day, like once a month, once every 2 months. Like, all of those visits matter. And also, be safe out here, because the slightest, it don't even got to be you. You could be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Somebody say like this. So I seen them standing right there, and you could find yourself in some shit that you can't really even get out because you don't even know how to get out. You don't have an out block, because I don't know where the hell I was at such and such time.
Lord have mercy.
Like, I didn't know I was gonna have to remember where I was at last week at 9:00 and like things like that. So just try to be safe. Try to watch your surroundings, watch the people around, and just, I want to say this the right way. just be mindful that what I said earlier, everybody that is incarcerated is not guilty, and everybody that's walking around the streets is not innocent.
Mm.
Okay?
That's real. I want you to say one more thing before we leave. Just give advice to some young girls coming home from jail. They did time. And what do you tell them, you know, to do to be successful? What would you say to them?
Unfortunately, if I'm being totally honest,
Be totally
y'all want
honest.
that light to be on? That light that just went out? Do I need it on? No? Okay. Just making sure. Sorry.
She's seen it.
Okay. If I'm being totally honest, I can't. It's like when people ask me, how do I be a rapper? Like, there's no formula. It's no nothing. You ask me if you want to be a cop, I could tell you, do this, go to the academy. You're going to be a cop. I don't know how great of a cop you're going to be, but that's it. Same thing with a lawyer. You go this, take this classes, study this, pass the bar, you're going to be a lawyer. Certain things, there's a path to it. There's really no path to being successful once you've been incarcerated, because you're going to run into a lot of obstacles, things that you're not even going to understand. How does this correlate to my incarceration? It's not going to make sense. And you have to be strong enough to find another way and to push through it. And it may be times where you feel like you're going to break, and you have to be strong. You have to try to reach out for your resources. Unfortunately, you asked me to talk to women. There's way more programs and stuff to help men than there's women, because there's more incarcerated men. So when they design these programs, they're more geared toward the men. But I would even go to some of those. Like, okay, this is geared towards this, but this is my situation. Can you help me? And there's so many people that are really starting to understand this system and the process, and there are people that want to help you. You have to find them, and you're gonna need help. You know, it's annoying. A lot of us hate asking for help, especially after being incarcerated, because you have to ask for everything. You need people to bring you soap. You need people to put money on your books. You need people to, like, anything that you need, you have to ask somebody for. So when you home, like, you be having that mindset, like, I'm not asking nobody for nothing. Like, don't let your pride jam you back up, because what you don't want to do is be back in prison. So, you know, there's no foolproof plan or method that I could tell you to have for success, but so that you don't lose your mind or ends up back in a predicament that you really, really don't want to be in, you have to reach for your resources, reach out to people like Mice, who might have a few connections that might be able to help you. And that's all I really could tell them. It's a gamble, and it's hard. And pray.
Well, I want to say thank you, and continue to celebrate you, and continue your evolution, you know, into this woman that I've watched and grown and called my sister, mother, you know, and you're still the dopest rapper, you know, because she from the BX. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do in the BX. But you know what I'm saying? Just continue to grow, man. You are an example of a stand-up individual. You are an example of someone who's evolved, someone who has turned pain into purpose and continue to persevere. And, you know, a lot of us have been incarcerated, and a lot of us will be incarcerated. Unfortunately, that's the system we live in. But it's not how you start, it's how you finish, man. And I want to say, continue to do what you do. Sit down with the stand-ups. Remy Ma, we appreciate you, Queen.
Thank you.
Love.